Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, good evening, and welcome. I am your host, Shandi Finnessey, and this is AFTERBUZZ TV with a spotlight on two very special guests, Susanna and Lorianne from Game of Crowns.
Yay!
Welcome to the show. So, everyone's been following us. We've watched the entire show. It was crazy, as you guys know, but
Yeah.
I want to know, what was your experience like on the show?
Well, for me, it was amazing. I mean, I had a wonderful time. I think that, working on a reality show, I always tell people, like, what was your experience? And I'm like, well, at the end of the year, I check off actress on my tax returns. So if that helps you understand what I do for a living, it's really, you have to put that element in there of, like, it's a lot of 15 hours of filming. So sometimes you're not always pageant happy.
Yeah, right? 15 hours of filming?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Are you
5
able to
days a week for 11 weeks, right?
While you're shooting, are you able to have a life outside of the show?
Well, you see our life, right? The kids are in the shots and the husbands are in the shots. But, that's the sad part, too, is, like, a lot of stuff gets edited out, so you don't get to see us, like, making breakfast or just the normal stuff. You really just don't get to see, like, that we're everyday people sometimes. But.
Well, let's talk with you for a second, Lorianne. Okay. Speaking of the editing, do you feel like once you watch the whole show, do you feel like, that was pretty much me, or you were like, that's just a side of me? Because I think a lot of people on reality TV find that just one side kind of gets highlighted more than the others.
I think with, like, my experience, I stayed, like, as real as possible, and I really feel that, it actually showed who I was, and, I was, like, fan favorite. I'm a very funny person, I may swear a lot, but that's, like, who I am. But I think it was a good experience, and I think that they really showed me, like, who I was, which was funny and just outgoing and just real.
Yeah, you did seem incredibly comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
You didn't seem like the typical that people would think about pageant girl. So it's
I'm definitely
kind of
not a pageant girl, more of like a fitness girl, a hardcore girl, and I'm not gonna try to be someone that I'm not. And I feel that my viewers got to see who I was, and I'm glad that it actually came across that way, because it is me. I'm funny. I just like to just do whatever. So.
And Susanna, what do you think about, like, the editing? Because I know that you have a huge story that they only touched on briefly with your daughter and your older daughter having been a severe victim of bullying and getting violently beaten up and ending in the hospital.
Right.
And they just briefly touch on that at the end.
I know. I really wish we could have shown more of that, because I got so many, actually, her and I, they showed the short anti-bullying talk that we went and did with the high school students. We've got so much response from that. People like, thank you, that was so inspiring. And so, I wish that they had shown more of that, because I feel like it did help some people. And it really was a big part of our lives, not just for 1 or 2 years, but it affected us, the whole family, for up until now.
And I think you probably got that type of a response because people, it was a change.
Right.
Everything that we had seen up to that point was just kind of girls being catty and going after the crown.
Outfit-gate.
And then to just have something that's very real and hits home, which is one thing that Susie and I in all the past episodes of AfterBuzz TV on Game of Crowns have been talking about, that it was kind of disappointing because we have toddlers and tiaras, and we have Honey Boo Boo, and we have all these stereotypes of pageants, and we really want it to be like the meat of what girls really go through when they compete, and that they're real people, and they've suffered things in the past that made them who they are, and so we really wish we would have seen that. Well, let me ask one last thing for both of you. What would you say was probably your least favorite part to watch, and what was your favorite for each of you?
Go ahead. I gotta think.
I think just like me being funny and making like my funny faces that I never really realized that I do. Like there was like one moment with the quad, and John was having me like back it up, and we had like a bet going on. I made like this cute face where I was like, you know, and I just thought it was funny like watching myself like do that. But probably like the worst part is just how I answer my questions on stage. You know, I'm not like the best at it, but it's something that I'm willing to like practice and practice and practice, because it's not easy, you know, to step on stage and have, you know, like people watching you and cameras on you, and then, you know, like they're like, you know, like writing down points, like if you're good or if you're bad. You know, it's a nerve-wracking experience, and not everybody is good in public speaking, and it's something that I've never been good at. But you know what, I practice at it, just like how I am now. You know, it's, you know, eventually I'll get better at it.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I think for me it was great. I mean, you know, it showed, you know, what a good friend I was to Lynn. I really stuck by her through everything, and it really kind of just showed, like, you know, who we are. My core is always, you know, friends to the end. The three of us have been very good friends, and I wish they had shown more of the friendships that were developed. And as you know, through pageantry, we develop so many pageant friends, and then they become our family, and you keep them with you for life. And I really wish, like you said, they had shown more of that, like, wonderful aspect of it.
So the two of you and Lynn were already really close.
Yeah, we were like, and the show really brought us a lot closer in the sense where, you know, we were traveling all the time and doing stuff together. And, you know, again, I think it's really important to show that friendship aspect. And I was friends with Vanessa. I was also friends with Shelly for a long period of time. And I really didn't know much about Leah. She really wasn't someone that I knew. But, you know, with Vanessa, it was really hard for me because when she set me up with the outfit, it was so hard for that to watch unfold on TV, because this is someone I did care about and trust. So,
are you both still friends with Leah? Or first, are you friends with Lynn?
Yeah, of course.
Are you friends with the other girls, with Vanessa, with Leah, with Shelly?
I would never be friends with Vanessa. She's a fake individual and just someone I don't care to have in my life. But still, she's a pageant family member, and so I treat her with the respect that all family deserves.
Well, will we see a season 2 where maybe you do become friends?
Listen, man, you have to have a 5 or 6 season before that would ever even.
Hilarious.
But we'll have to see. You just never know. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, I hope so, because I felt like it was just getting into, like, you know, the thick of it all. And then it's like season finale. I was like, what? There's so much left.
I know.
Well, moving on from Game of Crowns, let's talk about, because we didn't really get to see a lot of your lives. It mostly focused around the cattiness, like I said, and the bickering and the fighting and things like that between a group of women. Susanna, starting with you, we left off, we saw you as being Miss Rhode Island, United States.
Yes.
And then you got to go and compete for nationals.
I did.
What was that like?
It was an amazing experience. It was my first national I had ever done. And so it was a really big deal for me. And I had a great time in Vegas. We spent a week and doing everything. And I think the best thing is I met a lot of girlfriends and took away from it a wonderful experience.
What, for both of you, what drives you to want to be in pageants? Because a lot of people think, well, that's like a little girl thing. Once you become a woman, you're married, you have families, like other priorities you should have.
Right. I think
So
it's
what
more
drives
like a goal? You know what I mean? That you're trying to like focus on yourself. It actually helps you stay fit. You know, helps you like really like take care of yourself, and you know, it just really gives you something to like look forward to and, you know, like do something. I mean, like, you know, like we're wives. You know, I mean, I'm a young wife. You know, and I'm. Obviously, you know, it doesn't mean that things just stop for you because you're married. You know, you can still have a goal and go after it. And, you know, like no matter what the age is.
I agree. I think for me, I'm a woman in my 40s. I have 2 kids, and I think that sometimes I become a mom, I'm a wife, and I forget that I'm Susanna, and I really think it was great to have a day that I can focus on myself, I can focus on my platforms and what is true to me and what means a lot to me, and also, it's a lot of fun to get dressed up and blinged out and get on stage, and honestly, like, Lorianne got me in shape for nationals to put that bathing suit on, because you know the lights on that stage. I mean, you've got to be brave at my age after 2 kids with the lights to get on stage, and it really gives you a goal, like to say, I gotta stay, can't
her legs
eat that.
Looked really good. I gotta tell you, her legs were like awesome. I was pretty proud. I was like, look at those quads.
Yeah.
Can either of you see a time where you won't compete in a pageant? Will you ever hang up your pageant shoes, hang up your sash, and say, I'm done with it? Or is this something that, you'll be in Miss Nursing Home pageants, which I've judged before, by the way.
I did a Miss Senior pageant. I've judged that.
Yeah.
I'll always be an advocate for pageants because it's what saved my older daughter's life. It's the reason we got into pageantry. She had suffered a traumatic injury to her face from the teen bullying incident. She had had reconstructive surgery. She still wasn't faring well emotionally, and a counselor told us to go to a pageant. And at that first pageant is where I feel like she got on stage and she was able to tell her story, and it really was something that helped her. And she was done with pageant. She won that pageant, and then she felt completed, and it helped us. And then that's where my younger daughter picked up her pageantry. And for me, honestly, pageantry has such a place now in my family that it started with my generation, and I hope it keeps going.
So how old was your daughter when she competed in the pageant after being bullied and her reconstructive surgery?
It was her senior year in high school, and she was 17. She had left school, and two kids chased her home, drove her car off the road. She got out of the car, and she was beaten and left for dead on the side of the road. She then proceeded to the hospital where she had to have reconstructive surgery underneath her eye, her nose. But I'll tell you, emotional scars last a lot longer.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was very hard for me to understand, if she looked so pretty on the outside, how come she didn't feel pretty? And pageantry, because that platform where you have to kind of focus on yourself and you have to get on stage, you have to talk, and you have to do an interview, for some reason, that really was therapeutic for her.
But
so.
she can also, she had the chance to also talk about it and help other kids, I think, her age,
Yeah, and I think that's because a lot of times in pageants, I've always seen that it can almost be a mask that you put on, and it hides anything that is going on, and you never actually deal with it.
Yep.
But the fact that she was able to talk about it, and then she decided, I'm done. Like, I've hit my thing, and I've got what I needed from it, and I'm done, shows that she did heal from it. So I think that's wonderful. Were both of you in pageants when you were younger?
No, I've been doing fitness competitions since I was I think I was 19 was my first one. So I just turned 30 a couple months ago.
So old. Please.
So, and I just competed in April in a Montreal show with the WBFF as an international pro show, and I got top 3 international champion. So, I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah. That's another thing that the show didn't really show, or pageantry doesn't really we're highly successful women. I have my private pilot license. I have a children's book that's published. You're a highly accomplished woman. You came from pageantry as well. And I think that that's something that I wish would get more prevalent and get out there.
Definitely. Well, before we get into what you guys are doing, you started pageants at 19. What about you, Susanna?
I started pageants 2 years ago.
Really?
Yes. My first pageant was Miss Massachusetts Perfect Woman, which I won on a whim. And then I won Miss Nation USA, actually.
So for all the viewers out there, I'm sure so many women watch pageants, and they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done it when I was younger. Yeah. What made you, as a mature woman who's married and has her family, decide to, you know what, I'm going to go compete in a pageant?
My kids.
Really?
Yep, my kids. We were at a pageant, and they were like, there's a mom category. And I said, really, is there? They said, yes. And it was something that I was like, okay, I'll do it. And when you step on that stage and you're able to do it, it's hard. First of all, it's hard. Yeah. It's not easy, So you're
putting yourself out there to be judged.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to be judged.
Exactly. But what I do like about pageantry is that people don't know, because they think it's about just the pretty faces. You have to have a platform. You have to have an interview. You have to be accomplished. You just can't be beautiful and win. Mrs. America, she's so accomplished. My gosh, this woman just, so I think that's really, I just really that's something I think is great.
Well, and I think what a lot of people don't understand about pageants is that just with the interview process, you have to really know yourself, and you have to know what's going on in the world, hot topics that people are talking about, and how you feel about them, and have an opinion on them. Because so many people just in life, if you ask them how they feel about, you know, what's happening in Ferguson, Missouri, for example, they're like, oh, they don't really know all the details, but it's like it forces you to know what's going on.
Gotta do your research.
Well, now let's go into, because you're right, we didn't get to see a lot. All we saw mostly was a bunch of beautiful girls getting more beautiful and then going on stage and competing for a crown. So some of the stuff that you have going on, Susanna, Glitzy Girl, which I'm wearing right now. So tell me about Glitzy Girl, because it ties in with your daughter.
It does. Well, Glitzy Girl is a jewelry-based line for accomplishments. It's called Wear Your Wins. So you can go on the website, theglitzygirl.com, and you can actually, if you're in cheer, pageantry, dance, gymnastics, we have charms and Wear Your Wins. So let's say you won Ultimate Grand Supreme, or you're in gymnastics and you won level 1, 2, and 3, you can actually collect those on your bracelet as accomplishments. And then your parents can also wear your accomplishments too.
What made you want to start this?
Bella started it. My daughter Isabella, you can't carry around a case full of crowns to brag about your accomplishments. So it was a Wear Your Wins. It called a brag bracelet. And we started making charms, and now we have over 130 categories with everything that you can think of. Karate, if you're in black belt, brown belt, green belt, you can get a little charm for each. So it's really caught on. It's a national brand, and we're really excited about it.
That's wonderful. And then you also have Bound by the Crown.
Bound by the Crown, yes. This is an amazing collection. We just showed it at New York Fashion Week right before Michael Costello, which is a really big deal for us. We make a Mommy and Me collection, so we've made it for some pretty big celebrities, and we make an outfit, and then we make an outfit to match the parent. So very couture. So
I've seen that with dogs and their owners.
I know.
Well, now you matching outfits.
Yes.
I need to get that for my dog. And then I also saw you make jewelry for Kim D from The Real Housewives, as well as Dance Moms.
Yes, this is one of Cuffs by Kim D. She has this amazing leather collection with of course a lot of bling, because we're talking about the Housewives of New Jersey. And she's such a wonderful person. Again,
Kim D is
wonderful. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
See, reality shows don't change. She's got to be the biggest hearted person. She does so much. She's such an animal activist that you would love her, because she donates a lot of time and a lot of money into animal charities. So
she is really nice. When I met her, she was like, oh my God, like so like humble, down to earth. Like she was holding my shake. Let's take a photo. Like completely just like the way she said, just extremely nice, nice woman.
Yeah.
I can't believe everything you see on TV. Just saying. It's crazy. You watch it and all of a sudden your world is shaken up. Now, Lorianne, you have a lot of stuff going on as well. Tell me first about Body Construct, your women's gym.
Yeah, I have a gym. I train just women only. A couple of weeks ago, I weighed one of my clients, and she actually lost like 80 pounds. And and I had like other women too that lost 110, 50, like whatever their goals are. You know, I actually work with them, and we have like 8 classes. We have like kickboxing, isotone.
What made you focus just on a women's gym? Like, why not?
Because I had a lot of struggles when I was training with a guy, and when I was doing all my like fitness competitions, I was training with a guy, and it's just like I felt like they just didn't understand like a woman's body, and I found it very difficult. Like I was, like they were having me eat like chicken and broccoli, and like that's it. But with women, it's we have our periods, our cycles and stuff like that, and we can't just eat like that. We have to have fruits in our diet. We have to have carbs. You have to be able to,
wine.
Exactly, a little bit of chocolate, and there's nothing wrong with that, And I just found it so hard, And so what I did was I started training myself, and I just got the body that I wanted, and I stepped on stage and I was winning all these fitness competitions, and then everybody wanted to train with me, like, oh, can you train me, and I started off in my basement. And then from my basement, now we're in a 3,000 square foot studio.
Wonderful. In Connecticut.
Yep. And now
you have a shake too.
A shake, yes. We just came out with the Body Construct shake line.
I have it right here, and it's vanilla pudding. Is that your only flavor you have so far?
Nope. We have chocolate cake batter, birthday cake, cinnamon roll.
Delicious.
We have a lot of different flavors. We have workout shakes. We're really focusing on that a lot and traveling around doing tastings and stuff. So if people want it, they can go to Body Construct Fit.
That's what I was going to ask. Where can they? BodyConstructFit.com?
Yep.
Wonderful. And then, because I have that down right there, Body Construct Fit. Excellent. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on, but let me ask you this. Now that you have been in the reality world, and as we know, like you said, Kim D, like she's really nice. And watching the show, you're like, Kim D, I would never want to be in the same room with. Like, eat me alive. So if you had the opportunity, knowing now what you knew then, or knowing then what you know now, would you have gone on the show?
I think it was a good experience. I mean, I learned so much from it. It's like once in a lifetime opportunity. Not everybody gets that opportunity. And I just feel that I've been extremely grateful that, God has given me that opportunity to be on TV and really focus on my fitness and really get my gym out there. It gave me, it actually gave me that opportunity to, show what I do. Absolutely. So, I think I'm pretty grateful for it. So, how about you?
I mean, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I think that, you take everything with a grain of salt. I think that there is drama in everyday life, because I'll tell you, before the show, I still had drama in my life, and I think everyone does. So, and honestly, I think it's mindless television if you look at it and you say, you know what, it's a release from my day to watch somebody else's, and that's the only thing I would say is when you watch these shows, you have to take away that these are real people too. So,
That's very true. Well, and as you said, there's real drama in your life anyway. Yeah. I think reality show is like putting a magnifier on your life. And so like the smallest little bit of drama is like a big deal. And like the smallest fight becomes like super magnified.
Right.
If there was to be a season 2, is there anything that either of you would say, okay, note to self, I'm going to change this about myself, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to do more of that, or is there anything that...
Absolutely. There's no mirror like a reality show clip mirror.
Amen, sister. What would you do differently?
Oh, God. I don't know. What would you do differently? I have to think about that.
I think I'd want to really show how I transform women's lives, like the whole process of it. I felt like, my viewers really didn't get to see, what the girls at my gym go through, when they first come in and they're like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, and how I motivate them. And then, like 4 weeks later, they're like, oh my God, I just lost 15 pounds, and the excitement. I would love to show like the transformation that I'm able to do with my clients and, and what they go through. I wish I got to, show that.
Definitely.
A little bit more.
I think everything's a learning experience. And so for me, I don't think I would do anything different. I would just try to handle these extreme situations better. But, then again, I'm Italian.
Tempers, I
don't know,
So. At least you're not flipping over any tables.
Not yet.
So save that for season 2.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much. And let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you, how they can keep up with you, your Twitter handles.
Sure. At Paliotta Susanna for my Twitter, and www.susannapaliotta.com.
And can you spell Paliotta for them?
Sure. Paliotta.
Excellent.
And bodyconstructfit.com. You can contact me straight through there, and be glad to answer any questions. And my Twitter is just Lorianne Marchese, and that's it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, and how do you spell Marchese?
Marchese. So it's not Marchese.
Marchese. Marchese. Well, thank you, ladies. And you guys can catch me at Shandi Finnessey, ShandiFinnessey. I hope that there is a season 2, because season 1, I feel like not everything was tied up in a bow. There was a lot of loose ends, and so I really want to see a season 2. But thank you, ladies, for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
And so great to hear about all of your accomplishments and great business adventures that are going on right now. And I wish you guys all the best of luck, and I will be waiting for season 2. So until then, thanks so much.
Thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.